at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Green Bay Packers. And why are the Green Bay Packers 0-16? Because they suck. Oh, man, that stuff cracks me. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away. Throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes. As soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I have 3 different membership levels. The first one I got is called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called the Large Tail, and the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them, so if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys, but if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Let me move the chair for my buddy Randy here. He just woke up from his nap, so I got to move the chair. Okay, now, all right, here we go. All right, Randy's here. All right, we can continue. Oh, my goodness. All right, so if you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. And then also, in the description box below, there's 2 links. There's the top link, a little farther down, is a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. And then there's one right below it, which it's a Twitter link. To me, it's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. It'll be Twitter for 7 trillion years from now. Just for me, anyway, right? Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on him. I'm not calling it. It's Twitter, all right? I try to put stuff in there on my Twitter account, Giant-related stuff every day. So if you follow me on Twitter, I will follow you back. That's an absolute promise. And then also, the link right on top of it, okay, takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. We have over 7,200 members in the group. It's doing very, very well. And if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, darn near 365, I'm putting stuff in there every day, right? Every day. And not only do I post stuff in here, but the members post stuff in here as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. The New York Giants, the Gridiron. Please become a member. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with, well, if you look back at it, right, you kind of figure, the Giants were kind of backed in a little bit of a corner. With what Daniel Jones was, what he did, they won the 9 regular season games. We didn't have the greatest offensive line in the world. We didn't have a phenomenal tight end to throw the ball to. We had no dog wide receiver, right? We had a bunch of guys who were injured. Sterling Shepard was injured. Wan'Dale Robinson was injured. So we had some guys who were injured. We have no dog. As I said last year, we don't have a dog wide receiver this year either. His weapons were only so. Right, we're not the greatest offensive line in the world. 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. We went to a playoff game. We won the playoff game. He had a very good playoff game. So whether Shane believed in him or not, Shane/Dable believed in him or not, they were kind of really a little backed into kind of a corner because there was where they're drafting at. Right, they weren't flying up to number one to take a quarterback. They weren't flying up to number two to take a quarterback. They had other pressing needs. I don't know if they were even had an inkling or thinking at all about, getting in the Rodgers, sweepstakes. I mean, because Rodgers, because the Giants are trying to build a team, right? You're not building a team with a 39, 38, 39-year-old quarterback who might play another year or two, a couple of years. You're not building a team that way. When you're bringing a Rodgers in for somebody, hey, we could win now. We need a quarterback. And we can maybe push the Jets got a good defense, right? Got no offense. Okay. So they pushed the chips in. Okay. On the Rodgers sweepstakes, the Giants weren't going to really go down that alley that way. Weren't going to do it because they're trying to build a team. They're not this close to, knocking on the Super Bowl door, as we saw, getting blown out by the Eagles, when you get to the upper, and this year we're getting blown out by the Cowboys and the 49ers. So when we're playing the upper echelon teams, we're not even in their class. So pretty much there really was, who are you going to get to replace Daniel Jones? Seriously, who are you going to get that was that much better? That was going to replace Daniel Jones, right? So with Daniel Jones, he performed well. We certainly want to see a little bit more this season, obviously. Then we saw, touchdown wise and all right? That's not happening. But say they were pretty much back in their corner. They had, really kind of had to sign a guy. It was for the Daniel Jones haters out there. You could have, gone, out into the woods and brought a squirrel in, and I'm sure the Daniel Jones haters would have rather have a squirrel lined up at quarterback for the Giants than Daniel. I get that, but for the most part, okay, if you start, you think rationally, who are they going to get, right? You said you look at it like maybe if we can solidify the offensive line, get him a center, so maybe Evan Neal takes his next step. We got Andrew Thomas. Evan Neal maybe takes another step, right? You got the center, right? So then we have 3 out of the 5. Maybe, maybe this season, this draft, we can maybe add another guard, start solidifying that offensive line. Maybe somewhere along the line we get Daniel Jones, a dog wide receiver, right? Hey, we might have something here. It seemed like Daniel Jones might have, I don't know if you want to say regressed a little bit or whatnot, but they really kind of had to sign him, right? And as I said, you look at it like, he's maybe not worth the $40 million or whatever, but that's what the going rate is for a not a non-Patrick Mahomes kind of guy. It's $40 million. It is what it is. But they did something very, very well. They gave themselves an out after 2 seasons. I don't know how you're going to possibly write a guy a $40 million a year contract for 4 years, 5 years, whatever it might wind up being, and have an out after 1 season. I just don't see that happening. But they kind of gave themselves an out after 2 seasons. Now, albeit that after 2 seasons, if they will let them go after next season, right? That there's about 20, 22 million, somewhere around that in dead cap that they'd have to consume. However, right? If they believe they find an answer at quarterback and they're going to let Daniel Jones go, I'm sure they're more than willing to, take on the $20 million dead cap hit. But, this injury, could quite possibly be the best thing that happened to Joe Schoen / Dable / Giants / us fans. Could be quite possibly the best thing. Because, when Schoen was speaking Monday at his presser, they were asking him, obviously about Daniel Jones and all. And, Shane said, if healthy next season for week 1 or whatever, when Daniel Jones is healthy, he'll be the starting quarterback. But then, also asking him, and, Shane, was kind of leaving the door like wide open, right? He said, Tyrod's last season, and he didn't say nothing about, might have to bring Tyrod back. He's done a good job. He's good in the locker room. You see him on the field. He's good at directing. He's got a good command of the offense. He's a great team player. We might have to think about maybe re-signing Tyrod. We might have to bring him in. He didn't say that. He said, Tyrod's contract's up. Yeah, didn't say nothing at all about bringing Tyrod back. So, unfortunately, I love Tyrod. He's a second string. This is quarterback. He's your backup quarterback. Heck yeah, love it. His problem is injuries, right? Unfortunately, but Shane had there was even no inkling whatsoever of bringing Tyrod back. He just said, Tyrod's contract's up. We got Daniel Jones and we got Tommy DeVito. We have to dress. We have to do something else. We have to certainly do something, right? Free agency or in the draft. We're gonna have to do something. Obviously, without question. Then he was also talking about we don't have a crystal ball, right? He's talking about with the injury that Daniel Jones had, and that by Jordan Renan, I think it was. I said, well, how did the surgery go? Everything good? Did they find anything else? Is it just the ACL? What do we got? Kind of thing? Anything else in there? And Shane's like, nah, I'm not going to discuss the surgery. But it went well, But, Shane was talking about we don't have a crystal ball, right? We don't know, will he be back in 8 months, 10 months? Everybody's different. He was talking about, obviously, Daniel Jones is probably still going to be the first one in the building, although he might be the first one in the building now with crutches, the last one out with crutches, but he's going to be doing everything he possibly can to be ready for opening day, But once again, Shane was like, we don't have a crystal ball. And the thing is that too, it's not like the draft and free agency are 3 weeks away from week one of the 2024 season. No, we're months away, free agency is in March, drafts in April, then we got May, June, July, August, so we got 4 or 5 months or so before the regular season starts, so they'll have a better grasp on where he's at, but still, you don't know. You can see him running around out there, maybe throwing passes and stuff like that, but running around in practice, throwing passes is one thing. Being in a live game, trying to throw them is something else, and, that's something that, with the offensive line we've had, you got to be on your toes. You got to be on your, you better have some mobility going on there. If you start lagging, with your mobility, you're a sitting duck back there. So, but as I said, Shane's like, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly when he's going to be ready, right? Could be week 1, could be, week 3, 4, whatever. We don't know. And now that with the Leo the Lion trade, and I'll tell you what, the Seahawks, I think I read what they were. I think they're 1-4 since the Leonard Williams trade. So they're 6-6 now. So they got him. They were 5-2. They went to the guy, hey, Leonard, hey, Seahawks, dude. I think they were in first place, actually, too, because they had 2. I think the 49ers lost 3 games in a row because Williams was out, McCaffrey was out, I think it was, or whatever, like that. They lost 3 games in a row. So actually, for a week or so, Seattle was in first place. So I think when they traded them, Seattle had 2 losses and they might have been in first place, too. So Shane's like, yo, you want to go to Seattle? Hey, I'm just throwing out there, you've been in the league for, 9, 10 years. You've only made 1 playoff appearance. Seattle's in first place. They only got 2 losses. Put you in there. You're going to help that defense. Man, they got a good offense. Geno Smith, right? And Metcalf and Lockett and was it Jigba they got? And I mean, man, they got it going on. You want to go out? We'll get a second round and a fifth round for you. You want to go out? I mean, we're floundering. We're not making a playoff, right? But ever since then, I think the Giants are 2-4, and I think Seattle's 1-4. So the Giants actually have a better record with a third string quarterback in there. But anyway, we got the Seahawks. I was getting ready to say, the Seahawks, I'll tell you what, they're fine. Their next four games, it was including one. Maybe their next three. I mean, they just lost to the 49ers, but then they're like the next three games are like the Cowboys. They got to play the 49ers again. What else do they got to play? They got to play something. They got to play like 4 brutal games in a row. I mean, they could be going from like 5-2, basically at almost like 6-9, really. But like I said, we got 2 second-round picks. We got the first-round pick. I mean, just say we win 6 games, right? We'll probably wind up picking maybe around 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there, whatever. You don't know. We're going to stay put, let the board fall to us. We're going to try to jump up into the top, whatever. I've been hearing some stuff that, you might be able to get a decent quarterback maybe that you can work with, right? Maybe in the second round, right? I mean, there's some really good, very good athletic quarterbacks out there. So maybe one might fall to the Giants, maybe number 10, wherever the Giants are at, 10, 11, 12, 8. You don't know. I mean, we got 5 games. The Packers are not a pushover. They just beat the Lions. Yeah, the Eagles, even the Eagles have their 312 string players in there. The Eagles ain't going to be a pushover. Giants, just for whatever reason, can't have a hardest time beating the Eagles. And even when not beating the Eagles, but even trying to compete with them, right? So, I mean, the Rams, it's any given Sunday, right? So the Rams, they're not winless. They won games, right? And the Saints, I believe we have to play in New Orleans, right? That ain't going to be easy either, right? Carr, good quarterback, right? New Orleans has been kind of like a house of horrors for the Giants. I mean, the last time we played there, we had that good overtime victory, right? Very, very good game. Came from behind, right? But we could easily, but we could lose these last 5 games, right? We go from 4-8, looking all right, maybe banging our chest a little bit. We can be 4-13, right? And then we can be back in the top 4 or 5 or whatever, right? We can win 2 games. We can win 1 game. We can maybe win 3 games. So I said, so the Giants can go anywhere from, they can be in the top 5, but they can go, pick number 11, 12, 13. So, somewhere in there. But I'm saying is this could quite possibly be the best thing that ever happened, right? The Daniel Jones injury, right? Shane leaving the door open. Well, we got to do something. We have to, we're definitely going to have to address the court without question, because Tyrod's, his contract's up. He said nothing at all about bringing him back, right? So we got 2 quarterbacks, basically. We got Tommy DeVito, and we got Daniel Jones, and we don't even know when Daniel Jones will be healthy enough to play, right? So they're going to do something. Now, it'd be interesting to see, obviously Shane's been, every weekend he's seen a game. I don't know if he's done the doubleheader kind of thing where at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I haven't kept up on that. Like 12 o'clock, he got the Michigan, Ohio State game, and then he flies to Florida for the FSU game at 8:30 at night or something. That I don't know, right? But basically, every weekend he's going someplace. So he's seeing a lot of guys, and seems like a lot, quite often where he winds up landing, the games he winds up seeing is just happens to be a quarterback who might be available in the upcoming draft. Now, of course, that doesn't mean he's just going there strictly for just the quarterbacks, but the quarterbacks and maybe obviously some other players as well too. But we can maybe, if somebody falls to us in the first round, a good positional player, somebody, instant plug and play player, right? Maybe get somebody in the second round. Who knows? But I'm saying, but if we're drafting number whatever, 8 or 9, and they're like, there's a quarterback that falls to number 3 or 4, and he's just sitting there, take your first round pick, maybe one of your second round picks, your first round pick from next season, move up from like 9 to 3 or whatever it takes, and you get that quarterback. Right. But Shane did leave the door open, right? So it's a lot of things. I mean, this is one of those, after the season's over, there's a lot of things that's going to happen, like coaches. I mean, we've been, after last season, right? We brought the coordinators back. We were all doing a dance in the Macarena, right? Holding hands, singing Kumbaya. We got Martindale back and Kafka, and a lot of, for the most part, we lost the running back coach. I think we lost maybe somebody else, but I mean, for the most part, we kept everybody else. We were very, very happy, right? But, is Bobby Johnson going to be back? Kafka going to be back? So there's probably going to be some guys let go, some coaches let go, which it's also going to lead me into my next point, which would be like the Giants who are going to be going bye-bye. We'll go over this in just a second. But, guys who are going to be not re-signing, who guys maybe, maybe who might go after in the free agency. But, I mean, the draft, what the Giants try to do in the draft, because we got 3 guys who will probably be in the top 50, 55 of the draft. So, we got 3 guys that, if as long as we don't couple a couple picks together to move up or something like that, we got 3 guys that really should make a nice impact for the Giants next season between the first round pick and those 2 second round picks. And then if you play the cards right, your third round pick could be right. I mean, look at Jalen Hyatt, right? Maybe you can get you get somebody like a Micah McFadden. We got him in the 5th round, so, we could certainly get, especially if the Giants wind up in, say, the top 10, right? We'll have 4 picks in the top, like 75 or so. I mean, you can quite possibly find maybe 4 guys in the top 75 who maybe not plug and play right away, but can give you some good contribution, and you figure if you get 4 guys, I mean, that's like, not quite 1/5 of your team, but the starting 22. But so that's nice. And I said maybe you can add a free agency here or there, so the Giants can maybe do a little bit of damage, help build the team a little bit better, right, moving forward. But let's not forget, the Giants, the opportunity has been left open for a quarterback. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, which leads me to my next one here, which we'll kind of go over here. I got a couple of them here, but as far as the guys likely headed in their final games as New York Football Giants. Now, this one I'm going to go over here. The first one I really kind of, is Sterling Shepard. Now, I can certainly see him maybe being his last game because, I mean, they're just not finding, I think he's had like 116 snaps. He stayed healthy, which maybe one of the reasons why he's only had 116. Well, he's healthy because he's only had 116 snaps. If he's been up around 400, 500, 600 snaps, Lord knows if he'd still be healthy. But he's made it through the whole season so far. But I mean, once again, they've only had him on the field for like a little over 100 snaps. That's not a lot, right? Apparently, he's not in their long-term future. What I'd like to see for Sterling Shepard, as far as being in the Giants' long-term future, would be on the sideline, maybe being some type of a coach, right? In the organization, doing something. Whatever, he bleeds blue. That would be rather foolish to let him go and not saying, just to have him on the sideline in a jersey, we got to have Sterling Shepard whether he plays or not. So we're going to give him a contract. I don't mean that. I mean, after his playing days are over, they might go to him and say, look, Sterling, I mean, you want to go someplace else, you go right ahead. We really don't have you in our future. We got some good news and some bad news. All right. The bad news is we're really not playing future. We just don't see it happening. I mean, not that he's that old. I mean, this is his 8th season, but, we don't have as much, use for you. We don't really see. I mean, if we sign you, it's going to be another $700, $800 million contract. You might get 100 snaps, maybe. I mean, unless we totally get decimated by injuries, you're going to be staying on the sideline probably most of the year. That's So we're not really looking to sign you. However, the good news is, right? I mean, in today's day and age where they have backup to the backup assistant coaches to the water boy, right? Each team has like 312 assistant water boy coaches, right? You make up, or he can be the assistant wide receiver coach, right? Assistant, whatever, right? Sign him, ink him to something, right? Where now he's part of the coaching staff because he wants to be here. He bleeds blue, right? Get the guy in the organization, sign him to something, whatever. Whether you can sign him to something or whether you got to make up a job form, job description, whatever you got to do, keep the guy in the organization, right? But I did see this article. Let's see here. Who wrote this article here? Who is this? Giants Wire. Sterling Shepard. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure his. Yeah, I'd have a hard time believing they did want to bring him back. Next guy, Matt Peart. Yeah, this is unfortunately, third round pick. I mean, when you get somebody, a third round tackle. I mean, you really, it's like, okay, maybe not be a future Hall of Famer or something like that, but third round tackle. And especially an rather early third round tackle, right? I mean, it's like, you got visions of this guy, competing, right? Maybe getting some playing time and all that. Nada. In injuries, it's like, says the career of Matt Peart, a former third-round pick, never got off the ground due to injuries and coaching changes. He wasn't drafted by Schoen, so there's no allegiance to him. And when a lot of also when you wind up seeing is that they're shuffling, they're bringing Tyree Phillips in. I mean, Tyree Phillips wasn't even on the team. They're bringing other guys in and shuffling guys around and stuff like, hear Matt Peart at all. It's, it's kind of the writing's on the wall for him. The next guy, which is a shame because they brought him in, signed him, and they're not really finding nothing for him. I mean, it's a shame because they would have been better off keeping Crowder, right? Because, I mean, Campbell gets in there for whatever, 10, 15 snaps a game. Well, you can put Crowder in there too, but Crowder can return punts for you, right? So instead of basically hindsight's always 20/20, but I'm saying basically instead of, bringing in Campbell, you just could have kept Crowder, right? Who plays the same position, I believe, as Campbell, but Crowder can return punts for you. So you get 2 for 1 out of Crowder, right? And Crowder can play 10, 15 snaps for you, which is what Campbell's doing. It's just a shame because with Campbell, his problem has been health. He stayed healthy, right? We're just not finding. I mean, obviously, it's we're not finding stuff for him to do, but then again, the offense stinks so much we don't have a lot of snaps to give the guys, to try to find it. It's a catch-22. Well, we're not getting them a lot of snaps. Well, because the reason why we're not getting a lot of snaps is because the offense doesn't have a lot of snaps because the offense stinks. Yeah. But it's a shame. You brought him in. He stayed healthy. He's got the speed, and we're just not really able to take advantage of that. So, unfortunately, Paris Campbell will probably be going after this as well, too. He was inked to a one-year $4.7 million contract. Shame. Plan went kaput as Campbell never able to integrate it into the offense. So, I mean, it's, it's a shame. I mean, they bring him in and it's like, oh, yeah, we signed him to like almost $5 million a year. It's, we really can't use this guy. I mean, come on, really? $5 million, 4.7. yeah, I don't think we can really use this guy. Okay, the next guy, Tyrod Taylor. And, it's unfortunately here. I mean, I said, there was two guys that I really wanted the Giants to get. And I just got lucky here. It was a couple years, just before we brought Tyrod in. I wanted either Teddy Bridgewater, I wanted Tyrod Taylor as our backup quarterbacks. We wound up with Tyrod. I was like, oh my God. Jeez. So I was very, very happy. The problem with him, injuries. But I mean, you can see, he definitely has, control of the offense. Once again, he can only do so much. The offensive line has been a sieve, right? We don't, Waller, remember him? I'm going to go over him in a minute, right? And talking about injuries, right, with Taylor and Waller. I'm going to go over that in just a minute. But, right, I mean, we don't have a dog. There's no run around. Oh, there's Stephon Diggs. Just throw it his way. Or there's A.J. Brown and DeVonta, like what the Eagles got, right? Or the ABCD Lamb. Just throw it. Yeah. There's none of that. We don't have that, right? And our best weapon, right? The one that you really, who you really have to pay attention. I mean, Hyatt, yes, but he's not catching as many balls as Waller does, right? But Waller, has been injured too, right? So even when Tyrod's been in there, he's either getting injured or he's running for his life, or we don't have the greatest weapons around him. So he's kind of handicapped. There's only so much he can do. But once again, his biggest problem is injuries. And unfortunately for the guy, I mean, he was injured. It was last year too. Daniel Jones, I can't remember what happened in one of the plays. He got injured or something like that. Tyrod came in. I can't remember what a game it was. Played a few snaps. I think he scrambled, ran out, and got hit in the head and wound up getting a concussion. So he played like 4 or 5 snaps. And he got a concussion. He was out. I mean, the guy can't even come in and play a series or so without getting injured. The guy can't even. I mean, the one moron doctor punctured his lung with the needle or something when he was in San Diego. I mean, the guy can't catch a break. No pun intended, of course. But his problem is injuries, and it doesn't seem like they have any inkling at all as far as bringing him back. Now he'll have a little bit of dead cap money. The Giants will have to suffer through, not too much, but there is some dead cap money with him associated with him next season. But it is what it is. But unfortunately, it looks like Tyrod Taylor, after the season, he'll be gone too. And then the final guy, of course, is Adoree Jackson. Right now, let's see what do they got here. Some will lobby to retain Adoree Jackson, which you can certainly lobby for that. I mean, because he's had some injuries. He was injured last year. He was injured this season. He had some injury problems when he was with Tennessee as well too. So he has had some injury problems. But the thing is that if we let him go, can we expect Aaron Robinson? Does anybody remember him? Right? Can we actually expect him to actually put on a uniform and get on the field and stay healthy? Can we? Right? The Giants going to take a cornerback that high in the first or second round or something like that, right? Because if you let Adoree Jackson go, we have other cornerbacks, but do we have somebody? We have somebody to complement. We have Banks, and then we have who else? We got Flott maybe in the slot, but do we have somebody else who can man the other cornerback position and do a decent job of it? Don't know. Now, what would it cost to bring Adoree Jackson back? It's gonna cost you some dinero, so that's for sure. But let's see here. Some will lobby to retain Adoree Jackson, but he's a free agent come March, and the Giants may not feel up to getting into a bidding war for his services on the open market, which is true. He's still relatively young, right? Command some money. But as I said, the Giants want to, we'll give you 17. Well, the Texans offered me 18. All right, we'll give you 19. Well, the Buffalo offered me 20. Right? So, but I mean, unfortunately, that might be one of the things. The Giants just trying to build the team, and they might want to take a little step backwards at the cornerback position, right? Jackson was an outside corner by trade, but was shifted into the slot in favor of two rookies, Deonte Banks and Trey Hawkins. Unless Jackson is willing to come back on a much cheaper deal, it said right here, said he's a goner. Now, the same thing there, right? Can Trey Hawkins? I mean, he was very good in the preseason. Once again, that was preseason. Once we flipped the script and the Bullets were live, all right, and it's hey, these games count now, right? Things started changing a little bit, right? I mean, he looked like, a fly stuck to fly paper in some of the practices, boy. It's like the wide receivers couldn't shake him. He was looking really good, right? Maybe some of the preseason games looking kind of good and all, but once the Bullets were live, things were changing a little bit. So, do the Giants envision him as far as being a starting outside cornerback, or do they just look at him as some maybe special teams contributor and maybe some depth? I'll have to wait and say, because let's not forget, you don't take that for granted, right? Don't take that for granted. A lot of these good upper echelon teams have good wide receivers, multiple, right? And if their quarterback goes under center, they're going to go, where's Trey Hawkins? There he is. Okay, all right, everybody. Ball's going over here. Right? And Banks is over there. Okay, maybe but where's, that's the first thing they do. Right? They know they got a weak corner out there. That's what it's like back in the 80s, right? Quarterback would walk up to the line of scrimmage, look over the Giants defense. Where's Lawrence Taylor at? Where's Lawrence Taylor at? Where's Lawrence at? One time, I forgot which quarterback it was, called the timeout because he couldn't find Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor was on the sideline he was getting something with his helmet adjusted or something. He had I think it was something to do with his uniform, a malfunction or his chin strap, something. He was on the sideline. The quarterback couldn't find Lawrence Taylor. He called a timeout because, when Lawrence Taylor was in his prime, after 8, 9, 10, the guy gave his body to the team. He gave his body. He gave up his body for football. You look at some of the stuff that frickin' guy did. The dude gave up his frickin' body. He had no regard at all, whatever, for his frickin' body. So after so many years, he started wearing down a little bit. But in his prime, quarterbacks would walk up to the line of scrimmage. Where the is 56 at? Looking around. Okay, he's right there. Doesn't mean he's coming from there. He could be coming from there or that, whatever. But they just want to know where he's at, right? It's the same thing here. It's kind of not the same thing, but quarterback walks up to the line of scrimmage. Where's the weak cornerback at? There he is. Okay. All right. He's covering ABCD Lamb. All right. Guess what? We know where this ball's going to, right? And you hear announcers say that a lot, right? They look for the cornerback, or say Adoree Jackson's in the game, right? A play goes along, Adoree Jackson, whatever, twists his ankle, whatever, hobbles off the field, whatever. Quarterback's looking, okay, he's going off the field. Number 24 is coming in to replace him. 24, okay, it's 24. All right, let's call a play. It's going to be pass play. Okay, on to break. All right. Gets up to the line of scrimmage. Where's 24 at? There's 24. Okay, all right, well, we know where this pass is going, right? Now just say that all the time. If you got the backup cornerback coming in, quarterbacks are just foaming at the mouth. They're licking their chops, right? Because they know they're going to pick on that cornerback. So let's not underestimate or overestimate whatever is the importance of Adoree. Having two good solid cornerbacks out there is very important. So I don't know what the Giants, once again, the same thing there. If we let Adoree Jackson go, right, who's going to replace him? We got bodies. Sure, we got somebody, but do we have somebody who's capable, right? So, we got a lot of stuff to think about here. So this brings me up to my next point, of course, Tyrod Taylor and Darren Waller, right? And their injuries, right? They're getting closer. They're inching closer, as Brian Dable said. Once again, this is Giants Wire. One of the biggest obstacles faced by the New York Giants this offseason has been injuries. Yeah, newsflash, huh? offensive line took a hit, right? Leading to so many quarterback hits and sacks that the Giants are using a third-string undrafted rookie free agent as their starter. That's not the only area of the field to be decimated by injuries, but it has to be the biggest impact. Well, I mean, you look at the offensive line and you look at the quarterbacks as far as, I mean, because we lost our starting quarterback 2 times and we lost our backup quarterback, right? The 2 of the Giants' missing pieces could return after the bye, though, and they are quarterback Tyrod Taylor and Darren Waller. And, of course, Dable never says anything. You know, he just says, yeah, they're getting better. Yeah, everybody's getting better. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting better. You know, they're heading in the right direction. You know what I mean? So, you know, obviously he never tells you nothing. Dable says, I say they're getting better. We'll see where they're at. I haven't talked to the medical guys yet, but they've been getting better. Head coach Brian Dable said of Taylor and Waller on Monday. Following his answer, Dable was asked if they could return after the bye week, and he said, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Taylor and Waller last suited up for the Giants on October 29th. Let's see here. Waller was targeted against the Jets on October 29th. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, because, you know, if Waller stayed healthy in that game, you know, quite possibly we might have had a better offense. We might have moved the ball, might have scored another field goal or something. We might have wound up winning that game. But, of course, Waller winds up getting injured, right? Let's see here. Taylor in that game lasted a little bit longer, completing 4 of 7 attempted passes for 8 yards, getting sacked twice while rushing 5 times for 33 yards before leaving the game with his rib cage injury. Presumably, Taylor will regain the starting quarterback position when he returns. Well, we'll have to wait and see about that. But nothing has been announced. In fact, Dable was quite mum on the quarterback situation, so it will be interesting to see how that plays out. But, I mean, if we could get Waller in there, I mean, that would help Tommy DeVito immensely. You know, you need that guy. You know, I mean, the Hyatt kind of thing, deep when he thinks he sees something like that and he wants to pull the trigger on something deep. That's cool, but that's a couple times a game, right? You want that safety, you want the security blanket, dropping back the pass. He's covered. There's Darren Waller, the LeBron James out there. I'm just going to throw it up high. He can go up and try to grab it. I'm going to throw it up so high, he's the only one who's going to possibly be able to grab it, right? He's either coming down with it or it's going to be incomplete, right? I mean, it would be huge if we get Darren Waller back. Absolutely huge. Doesn't mean we're going to win the game, but offensively, it would be freaking huge for the New York Giants. So, like I said, I mean, if you look at it, so this is what? Today's, well, it was almost the 30th. So they play October 29th. It's been over a month, right? We still have a few more days until this week's game, and it's a bye week. And then we got the Monday night. So we got another like 8, 9, 10, 11 days, whatever days until the Giants got to play. So you're looking at what, 4, 5, 6 weeks almost that he's been out with a hamstring. It should be great if he could just come back. Man, it'd be so great if he could come back. But you know what you got? You know what you got? You're getting yourself into it, Waller, with this hamstring, and unfortunately came to bite the Giants. Unfortunately, in a couple of the games, but it is what it is. All right, and then finally, once again. You got to forgive me. I'm an old fart and all of this and everything. But, I see this stuff, this freaking power rankings. What are the Giants up here? The Giants moved up. I think they're 28th. In the USA Today. The Giants are 28th. Does anybody really look? Who the cares about power rank? You win, we're number 30, you win a game, you go up to 29. Does anybody really, oh my God, what's up power rank? Oh my God, we're 16th. Then you lose a game, you go down to 18. You win a game, you go up to 15. You lose 2 in a row, you're back to 20. Who the cares? Did you win the Super Bowl? Like Ricky Bobby says, right? You're either first or you're last, right? Did you win the Super Bowl? No. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're ranked third. It doesn't matter if you're who the cares if you're ranked 5th or 6th or 7th. Who the it doesn't matter if you give me ranked first all season. Who the did you win the Super Bowl? In college football. Yeah, I mean, you want to be in the top 4. At the end of the season now. Right? You want to be in the top 4. I mean, I guess as the season goes along in college football, anyway, if you're ranked like 5th or 6th or something like that, they're seeing you as a good team, and you're this close to you want to get into the show, right? You want to get into the dance. You want to get into the college football playoffs. So if you're ranked number 5th or 6th, with a few weeks to go, hey, okay, they still got us 5th. Or, that's not the final voting though. But if you're okay, we're 5th or 6th or 7th, we're undefeated, we're 7th, and we got a shot. We can win our conference championship and go in we got a shot again because we're not like, I think Liberty is like undefeated, but they're like ranked 24th. They ain't got a chance. But if you're like Texas or something like that, and you got like a 1 loss or no loss or something, and they got you ranked 5th or 6th or something, okay, that's that's kind of a big deal. I mean, if you're number 21, nobody, it doesn't freaking matter. You get a bowl game, and who the frick cares? But in college football, I could see a little bit more. But I mean, it's like, who the cares? Why? I mean, the power rankings. I mean, and then somebody here is actually writing an article on the Giants' power rankings. Giants moved up to power. Who cares? You're either first or you're last. Did we win the Super Bowl? No. Who cares? We won a football game. We moved up 1 spot. Who cares? We're number 28. Who the cares? I mean, I'm an old fart, so God forgive me. But some of this stuff is just absolutely ridiculous. The power rankings. I mean, the only power ranking I'm worried about is at the end of the season. The power. You want to have enough power. You want to have enough strength in the arms, right? The arms and the legs to hold it up in the air. Go right. Hold that, or the Lombardi. I guess maybe one hand. I'm thinking the Stanley Cup or something like that, right? But the Lombardi Trophy. You want to have enough power in the arms. The power rankings in the arms, right? To hold that baby up like that. Wave it around to the fan. That's the power rankings that I'm worried about. That's the only. We're 16th, or we were 20th. We moved down to 18th. Who the cares? What an absolute joke! Absolutely. Once again, I'm an old fart. I mean, there was no power rankings in the 70s. Nobody gave a crap about that. I mean, I don't know why anybody would care. I mean, the Giants are 28th. They're power ranking the 28th. Does anybody really care that we're number 28 in the power rank? No, absolutely not. Even when we win the next 2 or 3 games, we might go up to number 20. Who cares? So what? Right? I mean, even if we're number 2, so what? What does that matter? Who cares? They think we're number. So what? We got to win a Super Bowl. As I said, they say that. And Ricky Bobby, right? You're either first or you're last. If you ain't first holding that trophy up, don't matter where you're at. Don't matter if they got you after the season's over with, you're the second rank. Who cares? Did you win the Super Bowl? No. Right? So, all right, guys, been 48, almost 49 minutes. Anybody spent any time listening to me live? Thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe. Go Giants! Woo! Oh, yeah.